Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today I want to talk a little bit about Team Vitality and more specifically Selfmade and some big updates to the situation going on with him right now. Obviously, we have talked about over the course of this mini offseason all the different rumors and stuff. The rumors that he put out that potentially Vitality's coach Mephisto was going to be getting fired or replaced or whatever. Some rumors he himself had put out about himself that maybe he was going to get replaced, going to be benched, whatever. Obviously, Wooloo had put out some rumors that it did seem like Selfmade was going to be replaced and also potentially not even like sent down to Academy or anything like that, just totally replaced from Team Vitality in general. And then, of course, the conversation is going to shift to, okay, well, what is next for Selfmade? Where's he going to be? Where's he going to go? And this story is also really crazy. Obviously, over the past couple of years, there's been times where Selfmade has looked like potentially one of the best players in Europe, one of the best players in the West. There's been splits and there's been years where he has been compared to Jankos as like potentially the best jungler in Europe, for sure, top 2 or 3. And now the fact that it's looking like he's going to be teamless going into summer is pretty crazy. But some of the funny stuff is we saw this from Team Vitality, and this was not from this offseason. You know, if this tweet was from, I don't know, November, December, January, it would still be pretty funny. It would be still pretty memeable, but at least it would make a little bit more sense. Obviously, they tried to form a super team. It didn't work out. Maybe you need to make some changes. But this tweet was from March. And not only March, this tweet was from late March. This tweet was from like, I think right before the playoffs started, maybe the day before the playoffs started in the LEC, maybe the day that the playoffs started, somewhere right around there, you know, the last week of March, that's right around the LEC playoff time. They tweeted out, "We are proud to announce that Selfmade is staying with us until 2024. He found his true home, #V for victory." Now, this is certainly not the first time something like this has happened. We see this all the time where people get signed to these just contract extensions in general, but then also these like long contract extensions. You know, this is him having 5 splits left on his deal. Obviously, summer of 2022, and then all of 2023, and then all of 2024. 2.5 more splits, 2.5 more years on your contract. That's a long time in esports. You know, mostly players are staying with teams for like 1, maybe 2. If you're on the same team for 3 years, you're either, you know, like the franchise player or the team's just going insanely well. You know, even like the really, really good G2 teams, they didn't keep the same roster for 3 years. So that's something that's very, very hard to do. But it's always funny when teams, you know, put out stuff like this, because we know that the contracts mean absolutely nothing. We know the years mean nothing. And for the players, yeah, it can be nice to maybe get some stability or some guarantees or whatever, but it really doesn't guarantee you anything. And I don't even see why most players sign these long-term deals because, again, they're like Mickey Mouse contracts, but also it just gives you, it gives the team leverage to be able to sell you and prevent you from going other places and potentially putting like a high buyout on you. But this one was specifically funny and specifically hilarious because, again, how recently this was. This is less than 3 months ago, and they said, hey, he's going to be here till 2024, and he's found his true home. And obviously, some things have changed since then. Selfmade did recently tweet out, this was June 5th, yesterday. He said, "Scrims are going well. Can't wait for Split to start." And this is funny because, you know, we had already talked about Perk saying that scrims aren't going so well right now, but also there's been all these rumors and stuff swirling around. A lot of people were expecting Selfmade to be benched, so, you know, what scrims is he talking about? What's going on? Why is he trying to stir the pot here? And then we get, you know, this really, really funny top comment here. That's when I purposely spread misinformation over the internet, which is just a funny meme that's been going around a lot lately. We also had, you know, Selfmade chiming in on this stuff. He says, "Why are people acting so surprised when it's been known for like 2 months?" So then now he's starting to, you know, maybe start to finalize the benching and stuff here. KC Selfmade 2023, that's a big rumor, or not even rumor, but like speculation that's been going around recently. But finally, we did get the big update from Team Vitality. We got the statement from them that I did want to read through. They said, "LEC roster update. Thank you, Selfmade. As we reflect on the LEC Spring Split, we admit that we did not live up to all the expectations we as a team and the V-Hive, didn't know that's what it was called, community had for us. But we are keeping our eyes on our goal to have a successful summer split and to qualify for Worlds. In order to reach our goal, one of the changes we'll be making going into summer split is that Selfmade will no longer be an active member on the starting roster. Selfmade is an incredibly talented player and well-liked within the team, which is funny. But League of Legends is a complex game with many different playstyles that have to come together. When two different playstyles can't be mixed well enough, it is important to be able to adapt and try new options. And then this is a statement from Mephisto, their head coach. He said, roster changes are never easy, but after evaluating our spring split with all the players, the Team Vitality coaching and team staff felt that the jungle role had the best potential for success if we were to try something new. I want to thank Selfmade for all his contributions to the team, and I wish him nothing but the best in the future, which is a funny statement after we know what Selfmade said about Mephisto. And it's also kind of interesting because Selfmade said, hey, I was doing really good in scrims on certain picks. I know he said like Olaf, I think he said specifically, but then he wasn't allowed to play those champions on stage for whatever reason, and he would look good in scrims, couldn't look good on stage. The team didn't look good on stage, even though he's like, I could carry every game as Olaf, they just didn't let me. So that does kind of suck because, they're saying, hey, jungle felt like the most replaceable. It felt like where we could make the most impact or the most change, but Selfmade saying, hey, you didn't even give me like a fair shot. You didn't even let me play my style. You didn't even let me play what was working the best for us. And then it's extra funny that he blames a lot of that on Mephisto, and now Mephisto's coming out like, hey man, I wish you the best in the future. This wasn't easy. Kind of funny, but obviously when a player comes out and says something like that about the coach, one of them, if not both of them, have to go. They're not going to be able to coexist at that point. But Selfmade has been an integral member of the team, and we are thankful for all his contributions to the team and interaction with our fans. We believe that Selfmade will be able to shine as a talented player he is on another team. We'll be working closely with Selfmade to make sure that he lands on a team where he can continue to succeed. So what does suck is we are so late in the offseason at this point, obviously, that it doesn't seem like Selfmade is going to have a team for the summer. Now, maybe somebody reaches out and tries to pick him up at some point during the summer split, but that seems unlikely. It seems like his best bet is going to be headed into 2023. I don't know if that's going to be on a European team. It seems like he'd probably have to join a middle to bottom tier team at this point since, Fnatic didn't work out. Now Vitality hasn't worked out. I don't really know where else he's going to go at this point, but maybe he can try a mid to bottom tier team. North America, always going to be an interesting option. Also, K-Corp is there if the LEC does expand to 12 teams, or if K-Corp or Koi are able to join the LEC, maybe those could be options. The LCS could be very interesting. I know people are already going to be throwing out like TSM and stuff like that, but also there's the mid to lower tier teams in the LCS. I don't really think he's going to be able to break into one of the upper tier teams at this point. And then there's also the ERLs. Maybe if K-Corp stays in the ERLs, or I don't know if they would really move on from 113 at this point. I know he's not super great, but he's still an exciting young prospect, and also ERLs have rules about how many veterans and that kind of stuff you can have, but we'll have to see. Obviously, Selfmade is a very fun, exciting player at his best. He can play the carry-oriented style. But it also feels a little bit bad because Vitality had been trying to form like a super team or whatever for quite some time, and Selfmade, kind of crown shot, but really Selfmade was like the first big name player to actually come over to Vitality, and it seems like he was a big part of getting all these other players like Perks and Alfari and Karzi to come over to Vitality also, and then just after a single split they kick him to the curb. That feels kind of bad. That kind of sucks, but the exciting news for Vitality is what they're doing next. Finding a replacement jungler was no easy task, and we studied many different players to get the right fit. We believe that we found that fit with World Championship winner Haru joining us in Team Vitality. I think the asterisk is just for pending right approval. I watched Haru play over 30 scrim games to have an informed opinion both in practice and in official games. I trust that he will be able to come in and impact our mid game to lead to more victories and success. Alongside Haru, they announced the signing of Bo, which I think is potentially the biggest thing out of this whole thing. I think probably Haru will just be their jungler for the summer split. We'll see how that goes. I'm not really expecting Vitality to make it to Worlds, and then it does seem like this team is going to be, they're going to hand over the keys to Bo in 2023, and all of a sudden, Bo Perks, that seems like it would be a very, very fun, very, very exciting mid-jung duo, but we'll have to see how that goes. Who knows if Bo is going to live up to the hype or whatever, but it is pretty cool. Finally, on this whole thing, we did have, this is Neo, the owner, I guess, the owner and head of Team Vitality. He did tweet out, heartbreaking decision taken by all the members of the team for the best. Thank you to my little brother, Selfmade, for your professionalism and your talent. Selfmade replied, oh, Neo, my heart is broken. I hate you now. And that's kind of where we're at. So, again, it doesn't seem like Selfmade's going to be playing in 2023. Yet another player goes over to Team McDonald's. They've really had quite a loaded roster throughout this whole season. I do think it kind of sucks because obviously I think Selfmade is a top 10 jungler in the LEC. I think he'd be a top 10 jungler in the LCS. I think he absolutely deserves a spot, but that's just kind of how these things go sometime. Hopefully we will see him back sooner rather than later, but he's still a big personality. He's still going to do great numbers in streaming and content creation, all that stuff. He's going to be fine no matter what, so I'm not worried about him or anything like that, but I do think competitive League of Legends is better with Selfmade in it. And it doesn't seem like that's what we're going to get anytime throughout the rest of 2022. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Tell me, drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this story, or where do you think Selfmade is headed next. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hope to catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.